Unit 1, page 4. Read.
What's in a name? Names are different from culture to culture. As a result, students in English language classrooms sometimes need to make adjustments. Yevdokia Ivanovna de Trova and Jorge Santiago Garcia de Gonzalez provide two interesting examples. Yevdokia Ivanovna de Trova is from Russia, but this year she's working and studying in Canada. Yevdokia is an old-fashioned name, but it's coming back into style. Because her classmates find it difficult to pronounce her name, they use Yevdokia's nickname, Duzya. In Russia, students always call their teachers by their first name and middle name. For example, Viktor Antonovich or Katya Antonovna. A Russian middle name is a patronymic. It comes from the father's first name and means son of or daughter of. So Antonovich means son of Anton, and Antonovna means daughter of Anton. Russian students don't use titles like Mr., Mrs., Miss, Ms., or Professor. Now, Duzya sometimes hears these titles in class. In addition, several of her English teachers actually prefer to be called by just their first name. Duzya says, "In the beginning, this was very hard for me to do. It still seems a little disrespectful, but I'm getting used to it." Jorge Santiago Garcia de Gonzalez comes from Mexico City. He's currently taking English classes at a language institute in the United States. Jorge is his first or given name, and Santiago is his middle name. His last name consists of not one, but two family names. Garcia is from his father's family, and Gonzalez from his mother's family. Unfortunately, people in the United States often think his name is Mr. Gonzalez, but it's actually Mr. Garcia. To avoid the confusion, Jorge is now planning to use Garcia only. His friends are always trying to convince him to use the English name George instead of Jorge. However, he doesn't feel comfortable with an English name. He says, "I like my name, and I don't want to lose my identity." Names have a clear connection to culture and personal identity. What does your name say about you? It probably says a great deal about where you are from and who you are.
Unit 1, page 13. Exercise 5. A.
Hi, Janine. What are you doing?
Looking at photos. Want to see?
Sure. I love photos. Oh, who's that?
My niece, Alex. Isn't she cute?
Alex? Isn't that actually a boy's name?
Not anymore. Well, maybe some people still consider it a boy's name, but more and more parents are giving girls' names like Alex, too. It's the style now.
B.
Now, he's a good-looking guy.
Who?
The guy who's wearing glasses.
Oh, that's my friend, Red.
Red?
Yeah, you can't tell from this photo, but he's got really red hair.
C.
Who's the boy who's holding his head? He looks like he has a headache.
That's my nephew, Michael. He doesn't have a headache. He's just kidding around. That's why everyone calls him Bozo.
Bozo? As in Bozo the Clown? I bet he hates it.
Not really. He knows we mean it affectionately. Anyhow, he just makes a joke out of it, like with everything else.
D.
And who's that?
That's my cousin. We call her Sunshine.
Sunshine? How come?
Because she smiles so much.
But she's not smiling in this picture. In fact, she looks pretty serious.
You're right. She doesn't look happy at all. Well, so much for nicknames.
E.
That guy looks familiar. Who is he?
Oh, you know who that is. That's my brother, Carl.
Carl! I didn't recognize him. Doesn't he wear glasses?
Yeah, usually. but he doesn't like how he looks in them. I think he looks great in glasses, but I can't convince him. That's why he isn't wearing them in the picture.
F.
Now, guess which one is Bertha.
Bertha? That's easy. Bertha's the woman who's wearing the hat.
Wrong. That's my Aunt Vicky.
You're kidding. She looks more like a Bertha to me.
Why do you say that?
Oh, I don't know. Bertha sounds kind of old-fashioned. The name Vicky sounds like it belongs to someone young and sexy, like the other woman.
Nope. Bertha's her daughter.
Strange.
Unit 2, page 18. Read.
Super couples. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Disguised as Clark Kent, this world-famous character met Lois Lane while the two were working as newspaper reporters for the Daily Planet. At first, Lane wasn't interested in mild-mannered Kent. She wanted to cover stories about the Man of Steel. In time, she changed her mind. When Kent proposed, Lane accepted, and she didn't even know he was Superman. Superman and Lois Lane are certainly not the only super couple. What were other power couples doing when they met? What did they accomplish together? Let's find out. When she was 24, Maria Skłodowska left Poland and moved to Paris. While she was studying at the Sorbonne, she met physicist Pierre Curie. She was planning to return to Poland after her studies, but the two scientists fell in love and got married. While they were raising their daughters, they were also doing research on radioactivity. In 1903, the Curies won the Nobel Prize in Physics. Then, in 1906, a horse-drawn carriage hit and killed Pierre while he was out walking. When Marie recovered from the shock, she was able to pursue the couple's work. In 1911, she received her second Nobel Prize. She was the first person to ever receive 2 Nobel Prizes. Frida Kahlo first met Diego Rivera in 1922, while she was studying at the National Preparatory School in Mexico City. Rivera was already a well-known artist. He came to the National Preparatory School to paint one of his famous murals. 3 years later, at the age of 18, Kahlo received serious injuries in a bus accident. While she was recovering, she started painting from bed. One day, she went to see Rivera to ask him for career advice. He was very impressed with her work. Kahlo and Rivera fell in love and got married. Today, they are considered 2 of Mexico's greatest, most influential artists.
Unit 2, page 24. Exercise 2B. Conversation 1.
Are you okay, Aaron? Were you crying?
Yes, but how did you know? I wasn't crying when you came in.
Your eyes are red.
The movie Frida was on TV. It's about the Mexican painter Frida Kahlo. It's so sad. When I was watching it, I was thinking about her life. She had so many health problems, and she never really recovered from them.
Conversation 2.
You won't believe it. I saw David and Victoria Beckham in London last week.
London? What were you doing in London?
I was there on a business trip, but of course I found some time for shopping. When I was going into Harrods, the Beckhams were walking in the door right in front of me.
That's awesome! You asked them if you could take a selfie with them when you got inside the store, right?
No, I didn't want to look like a crazed fan.
Okay, so what happened next?
When I went to the women's department, Victoria was looking at jeans. I couldn't control myself anymore, so I took a photo. Here it is.
Conversation 3.
How did you hurt your foot?
It was an accident. I fell on my way to class yesterday. I slipped while I was climbing the stairs to the 3rd floor.
That's too bad.
Not really. I was feeling sorry for myself when I was sitting in the emergency room. But suddenly things changed. I met a cool girl who was at the hospital with her sister. We are going out for pizza tonight.
Unit 2, page 25. Exercise 3B. Conversation 1.
What were you looking at just then? You were smiling.
I was watching the video of Nicole's wedding. She looked so happy.
How did she and Matt meet?
At my graduation party. Matt almost didn't come because he was out of town. He was covering a big story for the newspaper. Luckily, his plans changed. The rest is history.
Conversation 2.
I found your Superman website while I was looking for some information online. It's great.
Thanks. When did you become a Superman fan?
Years ago. I was reading a comic book one day when I decided to marry Lois Lane. No, just kidding. I wanted to draw Lois Lane and Superman.
I was pursuing a career in graphic arts when I started my Superman site. The website helped me get my first job.
So it looks like Superman was influential in both our lives.
Conversation 3.
Did Jason surprise you when he came to see you last night?
Yes, I was cleaning my apartment when he knocked on the door. When I finished, we went to Fishbone Cafe. While we were eating, Jason asked me to marry him.
Congratulations!
How much did you already know about this?
I didn't have all the details, but Jason mentioned his plans when I saw him yesterday afternoon.
Unit 2, page 28. Exercise 6.
So tell me, how did you and your husband meet?
Well, actually, it's a pretty romantic story. John and I were both working for a newspaper. We didn't know each other well at the time, but one day we got an assignment together. I was a photographer and he was a writer.
What was the assignment?
Let's see. We were covering this story about the new murals on Market Street. John was doing the research about the artists, and I was taking photos of the art. Well, anyhow, we were doing this story outside when it started to rain. I mean, it was really coming down hard. When it started thundering and lightning, too, we ran into the nearest coffee shop we could find. As soon as we sat down, lightning struck nearby and the place lost its electricity. Luckily, the coffee shop had candles on the table, so it was no problem.
Oh, so while it was thundering and lightning outside, the two of you were sitting there talking by candlelight. You're right, it does sound romantic. How long did the storm last?
Oh, about an hour, I suppose.
So I guess you two both got to know each other pretty well.
Yes. You know, at work there was never enough time to talk. We were always working against some deadline. So anyway, John was just beginning to tell me a little about his childhood when the lights came back on. We were going to leave and get back to work, but then we just sat there another 2 hours talking. When we finally left, the sky was clear and the sun was shining. It all seemed so symbolic. A month later, we were married.
Unit 3, page 33. Read.
Adventures in Student Living by Hank Washington. I moved into my first apartment about 3 months ago. That explains a lot about my new hobby, cooking. My main motivation is eating, but I've also found out that I actually like to cook, and I've been reading food blogs recently. One of the best is Nutmeg 7 by student blogger Ellie McCausland. McCausland is part of a trend among young people in the United Kingdom. They've been learning about delicious, healthy alternatives to fast food. Since April 2010, McCausland has been writing about her passion for cooking on her blog. She often describes new kinds of food that she has discovered. Since she started her blog, she's taken trips to places like Costa Rica and Thailand, and has described the connection between her interests in food and travel. Recently, McCausland's blog has become even more interesting because she has started to grow fruits and vegetables in her garden. I can't wait to read more about how she uses the fresh produce from her garden for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Ellie McCausland hasn't been experimenting with food all her life. In fact, she survived on cheese sandwiches as a child. McCausland is now 25 years old. She has been studying for a PhD in literature for a couple of years, and of course, she has continued to write about her culinary adventures. Have you ever wanted to try your hand at cooking? What hobbies have you been enjoying lately? Add a comment to keep the discussion going.
Unit 3, page 43. Exercise 6.
Wow! You looked so happy and relaxed. Last semester, you always seemed stressed out. What happened? Have you been doing something different lately?
Absolutely. I've decided that everyone needs a hobby to survive, and that includes me.
You haven't always felt that way. What made you change your mind?
Well, to be honest, the professor in my psychology class motivated me to change my way of thinking. At the beginning of this semester, we studied the benefits of hobbies. When we started, I didn't believe for a minute that a hobby would make a difference in my life, but now I'm a total believer.
What I don't understand is how anyone has time for fun. Between school and my part-time job, I've been working non-stop for the past 2 weeks. Honestly, I'm too busy for a hobby.
According to my psych professor, we all need to find time for hobbies.
I've read that hobbies make people feel good, but when I think about making time for a hobby, I start feeling nervous. I'm afraid I'll have even less time to finish my work.
Think about it like this. People with hobbies are often more creative, more confident, and more focused, and they have more energy, so they can be more successful at work and school. A hobby might help you.
What's your hobby? Have you been reading, collecting stamps, playing soccer? What?
Photography. It all started during the selfie trend a couple of years ago. Back then, I just took pictures of myself and my friends. But lately, I've been trying my hand at other types of photos. For example, I've been taking pictures of the buildings between my apartment and school and the interesting architecture here on campus.
But I still don't see how you find the time. If you've been taking photos on your way to school, how can you get to class on time?
Well, I haven't been late for class yet. Just remember, if you're passionate about something, you can figure out how to make it happen.
But
Unit 4, page 48. Read.
The People's Conductor. He's exciting. He's great looking. He's the dude. And he's changing the way people around the world feel about classical music. Gustavo Dudamel grew up in Barquisimeto, Venezuela. A child prodigy, he had already started taking music lessons by the early age of 4. His father played the trombone in a salsa band, and young Dudamel had been hoping to take up the same instrument. But his arms were too short, and so he studied the violin instead. It wasn't too long before Dudamel became part of El Sistema, a program created to teach young Venezuelans, mostly from poor families, how to play musical instruments. Many of these kids had been getting into trouble before participating in the program. The music saved me. I'm sure of this, said Dudamel in a TV interview. In El Sistema, Dudamel's amazing talent was obvious, and by the time he was 15, he had become the conductor of the Simón Bolívar National Youth Orchestra. But that wasn't the first time he had led an orchestra. According to Dudamel, he had been conducting in his imagination since he was 6. On October 3, 2009, Dudamel lifted his baton for the first time as music director of the famed Los Angeles Philharmonic. He was only 28, and he had just signed a 5-year contract as conductor. Tickets for this free concert at the 18,000-seat Hollywood Bowl had become available 2 months earlier. By the time the Bowl's ticket office opened on August 1st, hundreds of people had already arrived. They had been lining up for hours in the hot Californian sun. The tickets were gone in minutes. On October 3rd, that lucky audience, a mix of all ages and ethnic backgrounds, had come for one thing: to see Gustavo the Great conduct. They were not disappointed. By the end of the concert, they had all risen to their feet and had been applauding enthusiastically for 10 minutes. After his successful debut, Dudamel continued to attract new fans to his concerts. To help young people, he worked with the Los Angeles Philharmonic to set up a program modeled on El Sistema, the program that had transformed his life. Today, Dudamel is an award-winning conductor who wants to inspire others and share his love of classical music.
Unit 4, page 61. Exercise 9.
Good evening, and welcome to Classical Notes. I'm your host, Elena Rodriguez Hernando, and tonight we are joined by 5 young, exciting musicians: Julio Rivera, Marta Lopez, Klaus Berger, Ling Wang, and Antonio Moreno. Julio, you play the trombone. Tell me, how did you choose the trombone as your instrument?
I didn't choose the trombone. It chose me.
What do you mean?
Well, I hadn't really been planning to study the trombone. I'd wanted to play the flute, but my school didn't have any flutes available at the time, so they gave me a trombone.
Marta, you and Julio got married last year. How did the two of you meet?
Well, it was 2009. We'd been playing in the same orchestra for 2 years, but we really hadn't spoken very much. Then there was this concert in Berlin, and we were traveling there in the same bus. It was a long trip, and we started talking. We really got to know each other on that trip.
We sure did. It was the beginning of a great friendship. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Klaus, you used to play in a jazz band. Now you're a classical pianist. What happened?
I was visiting my cousin in Caracas, and he'd gotten us tickets for a concert. Gustavo Dudamel was the guest conductor. I hadn't seen him conduct before. In fact, I'd never even been to a classical music concert in my life. The concert was awesome, and it changed how I felt about classical music. So I started studying classical piano right after that.
What about you, Ling? How did you choose the violin as your instrument?
The choice was obvious. My older sister had been taking violin lessons for several years, and I'd been dreaming of getting a violin of my own. So by the time my parents asked me what I wanted for my 10th birthday, I'd already decided.
Was your sister happy with your choice?
Yes, it was great. In a little while, we were playing duets together.
Antonio, you grew up in Venezuela. In fact, you were a graduate of El Sistema, weren't you?
That's right. I was pretty typical of kids in my town. I hadn't been doing my schoolwork. I'd been hanging out on the streets with my friends, and I'd been getting into a lot of trouble. But once I started the program, everything changed. El Sistema really transformed my life.
Unit 5, page 68. Read.
Cities of the future. The world's population is exploding. By 2050, futurists predict that 10 billion people will be living on the planet, up to 70% of them in cities. At the same time, the oceans are rising as global warming melts the ice at the North and South Poles. This means that while the population is growing, land will be shrinking. In addition, there is not going to be enough fresh water or oil and other types of fuel. Where will people live when room on dry land gets too crowded? How will 10 billion people feed themselves and travel from place to place? We're going to need a lot of innovative solutions. Fortunately, some very creative individuals are already thinking about them. Here's what they are predicting.
Homes, water world. Some futurists believe that as rising oceans cover the land, the oceans themselves are going to become valuable real estate. Architects and engineers will be building floating cities that will use solar, wind, and wave power. Some cities will even be traveling long distances and using their large gardens to supply food. Science fiction? Maybe not. Some of the technology is already being used in underwater hotels and laboratories.
Food. The sky's the limit. According to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, the world is going to need 70% more food by 2050. This will require additional farmland equal to the size of Brazil. Where will we find it? Dr. Dixon Depomier of Columbia University says urban farmers will be growing food on vertical farms, and that sky farms in New York will produce enough chicken, vegetables, and fruit to feed the entire city. Instead of fuel-guzzling farm machines, farmers will be using robots for difficult and dangerous work. The farms will also save energy because food won't be traveling into the city by truck from distant farms.
Travel. Back to the future. More than 80 years ago, luxurious airships, large balloons filled with helium, carried passengers around Europe and across the Atlantic. However, after one terrible accident, travelers stopped using them. Now, with fuel becoming more expensive, airships are coming back. A Spanish company is developing a solar-powered airship that will fly on sunshine during the day and use fuel only at night. Commuters will be taking airships to work, and the company predicts many other uses for the vehicles. For example, disaster relief organizations, such as the Red Cross and Red Crescent societies, will be using them as flying hospitals to help earthquake and storm victims.
The future is coming, with all its opportunities and challenges. Will we be ready? With enough imagination and hard work, we will be.
Unit 5, page 77. Exercise 2B. Conversation 1.
Which projects are you going to report on?
I haven't decided for sure. Probably flying cars.
Conversation 2.
Look at those dark clouds.
Yes, it looks like it's going to rain any minute.
Conversation 3.
I'd better get back to my hotel room before it starts to rain. Call me, okay?
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Conversation 4.
Dr. Eon, your son just called.
Oh, good. I think I'll call him back right away.
Conversation 5.
Hi, honey. How's it going?
Great. And guess what? I'm going fishing with Grandpa tomorrow.
Conversation 6.
Have fun, but don't forget, you still have to finish that paper.
I know, Mom. I'm sending it to my teacher tomorrow. I already discussed it with her.
Conversation 7.
How's the conference?
Good. I'm giving my talk this afternoon.
Conversation 8.
Good luck. When will you be here?
Tomorrow. The airship lands at 7, so I'll see you about 8.
Conversation 9.
Great. Are we going to the car show on my birthday?
Sure. Oh, I saw Will Happen and he gave me something for you. I think you're going to like it.
Unit 5, page 77. Exercise 3B.
You've been presenting a lot of papers recently. Will you be going to the robotics conference in Tokyo next month?
Yes, I will, but I won't be presenting. The Japanese are doing very innovative things with personal robotics, and I'm going to be attending every lecture possible.
What are their new robots going to be doing for us?
A lot. Oh, personal robots are still going to be helping the elderly and individuals with disabilities, but the new bots will be improving our lives in a lot of other ways, too. They'll be cooking complicated recipes. They'll be performing music and other creative tasks. So are you going to be buying one for your family, Will?
No, I won't. They look too much like machines to me. Is their appearance going to be changing?
Yes, it is. And very soon. Companies are starting to meet that challenge now. In just a couple of years, they'll be selling bots that look just like humans and show human emotions.
Amazing. Well, thanks for the interview, Nuvella. Oh, look at the time. This afternoon, I'm going to be taking a test drive in the new flying car. You should see it. The technology is really amazing. Why don't you come with me?
Unit 5, page 81. Exercise 7.
You know, interest is really growing in housing development on Venus. Some people with very innovative ideas are working on it. I really think we should try to organize a conference there this summer.
Good idea, Lorna. But it's going to be a big challenge for us to find a time we're all available. We're all so busy.
Well, we won't know unless we try. Come on, maybe we'll find a creative solution. Skylar, what are your summer plans?
I don't know exactly, Jarek. I do know that I'm taking a vacation with my family the last 2 weeks of August.
Okay, so that means Skylar won't be available to meet the last 2 weeks of August.
That's right. What about you, Jarek?
Well, I won't be going on vacation, but I'll be going on a business trip to Mars the second week of July.
How long will you be staying?
I'll be leaving the beginning of the second week of July and staying through the third week. What about you, Lorna? What are your plans?
I haven't made any plans yet, but it's the end of June now. If we go to Venus, I'll need to tell my boss at least 2 weeks before I leave.
So that rules out the first 2 weeks of July for you, Lorna. That means the earliest you could go would be the third week of July. Zindra, what about you? Any plans?
Jarek, you know I hate this planet in the summer. Too many tourists from other planets. I'm gonna be getting away from Earth as much as I can.
Really? Where will you be going, Zindra?
Well, I'll be flying to Mars to visit my sister every other weekend, starting the second week in July.
Every other weekend starting the second week of July. The conference has to run through the weekend, so the second and fourth weeks of July won't be good for you, Zindra.
And the second and fourth weeks of August aren't good either. What about the rest of the time, Zindra?
Well, I won't be going into the office, but I'll be doing research the third week in July. And with a little luck, I'll be traveling to Jupiter with my new boyfriend the third week in August.
Well then, according to my calculations, that leaves only 1 week that we all have free.
Unit 6, page 86. Read.
Young entrepreneur looks toward the future. Who is 14-year-old entrepreneur Shubham Banerjee, and will he have become a millionaire by his 30th birthday? Like other entrepreneurs, Shubham shows great initiative and is willing to take risks in order to succeed. However, money is not his only goal. Shubham wants to use his problem-solving talent to create devices that will help others and make the world a better place. At the age of 12, Shubham invented Brago 1.0, a printer that converts traditional text to Braille. He created his printer for a school science project because he wanted to make a better, less expensive Braille printer. With money from his father and corporate sponsors, Shubham started his own company, Brago Labs, and began developing Brago 2.0. By the time his printer is available for purchase, he will have been working on the device for several years, and the cost of a Braille printer will have dropped from $2,000 to $500 or less. It is important to Shubham that he will have produced an affordable way for the blind and others with limited vision, 285 million of them worldwide, to print and read digital documents. In keeping with his entrepreneurial spirit, Shubham is already finding ways to make his dreams come true. Meanwhile, he is still a teenager who is just beginning high school. By the time he graduates, he will have improved his skills in science and technology. Like most teenagers, he will have played sports and joined clubs. And because education is important to him, Shubham says that he will have applied to several universities to study medical engineering. Clearly, the teen won't have been wasting time. But what about future inventions? Shubham reports that he already has plans for his next projects. That means by the age of 30, he will probably have become a well-known engineer working to make the world a better place. As for his millionaire status, there is no doubt that he will have achieved that goal as well.
Unit 6, page 96. Exercise 6.
Don't you think Beth is spending too much time on her bicycle business? What about school?
Oh, school's important, but there's a lot to be said for encouraging kids to be entrepreneurs. Beth is passionate about bikes, so why not let her do what she loves and get some valuable skills at the same time?
Exactly what skills is she getting from her business that she can't get at school?
Okay, here's the way I see it. By the time Beth graduates from high school, she'll have been running BB's bikes for 3 years. She'll have developed a better knowledge of machines, that's science and technology. She'll also have improved her math skills.
What about literature, art, history, and music? She'll learn about those subjects if she's in school.
I totally agree. In fact, Beth takes those classes, and she knows that school comes first. She has to finish her homework as soon as she gets home from school. Then she can deal with the bikes. And that's where she can add to her classroom learning. For example, by the time she's ready to graduate, she'll also have been learning how to think outside the box.
What do you mean by think outside the box?
Just this. She'll already have memorized a lot of information, both from books and lessons in the classroom. But with her bicycle business, she'll have faced problems on her own and come up with new, different, creative ways to solve them. That's important.
I see. It's not the same as solving a problem that the teacher gives as an assignment.
Right. And in school, she has to follow the rules. In her business, Beth is responsible for making the rules and keeping her promises. Anyway, by the time Beth leaves for college, I just hope that she'll have realized the importance of initiative. You know, that she can be responsible and that she doesn't have to wait for others to tell her what to do.
It sounds like Beth won't have missed a thing. She'll have gotten the best of both school and the real world when it's time for her to fill out her college applications.
I think so.
By the way, is my bike ready yet?
Can you call Beth at 5 o'clock? I'm sure she'll have finished working on it by then.
Unit 7, page 102. Read.
It's a great place to live, isn't it? Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Excuse me, do you speak English?
Yes, I do. Hey, I've seen you on TV. Aren't you Paul Logan?
That's right. I'm conducting a survey for Life Abroad magazine. You're not from Rio, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm originally from Portugal. You could tell by my accent, couldn't you?
Uh-huh. You don't speak English like a Brazilian. So how do you like living here?
I love it. Just look around you. The beach, the bay, the mountains, the sky. Aren't they gorgeous? I walk along this beach every day on the way to my office.
It's not a bad way to get to work, is it?
It's not a bad place to play either. There's constant excitement. Besides the beach, there are so many restaurants and clubs. It's a great place to live, isn't it?
Cairo, Egypt.
This is one of the oldest markets in Cairo, isn't it?
Yes, and I can assure you it's one of the most interesting. Hey, didn't you buy anything?
Not today. So what brought you from Nairobi to Cairo?
My job. I work for a company that supplies internet services for a lot of businesses here.
It gets extremely hot here in the summer, doesn't it?
Yes, but the winters are mild, and it almost never rains. You can't beat that, can you?
Seoul, South Korea.
You're a student, aren't you?
No, actually, I'm a teacher. I'm teaching a course in architecture at the CD1 School of Art and Design this semester.
So, how do you like living here? Doesn't the cold weather bother you?
Not really. I'm from Berlin, so I'm used to it. I love the city. You can see skyscrapers right next to ancient structures.
That's true. That's the old city gate over there, isn't it?
Yes, and there are several beautiful palaces nearby.
Vancouver, Canada.
You're from England, aren't you?
Yes, I moved here 10 years ago.
Was it a difficult adjustment?
No, not really. First of all, having the same language makes things easy, doesn't it? And people here are very friendly.
Why Canada?
England's a very small country. I was attracted by Canada's wide open spaces. It seems to offer endless possibilities.
Unit 7, page 109. Pronunciation note.
In tag questions, our voice rises at the end when we expect another person to give us information.
You're not moving, are you?
Yes, I'm returning to Berlin.
Our voice falls at the end when we are making a comment and expect the other person to agree.
Seoul is interesting, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Unit 7, page 110. Exercise 3B.
You're originally from England, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm from London.
You've lived in Vancouver for many years, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Since I came here to teach video arts. Seems like ages ago.
You didn't know anyone here, did you?
No, I didn't. I was here all alone. And I didn't have a cent to my name. Just some ideas and a lot of hope. It sounds crazy, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. Not when you look at all the TV shows you've done. Things have sure worked out for you, haven't they? You've already worked on 2 big TV series, and you've done some work for the movies as well. You're working on another film now, aren't you?
Yes, I am. It's a comedy about some kids who become invisible.
Speaking of kids, you and your husband have some of your own, don't you?
Yes, we do. 2 boys and a girl, all very visible.
I know what you mean. Do you ever wish they were invisible?
That's an interesting thought, isn't it?
Unit 7, page 111. Exercise 4B. Conversation 1.
Hi, you look familiar. Isn't your name John Radcliffe?
No, it isn't. My name is Anton Kada.
Conversation 2.
Oh, haven't you seen this apartment before?
No, I haven't. I've never seen it before. This is the first time.
Conversation 3.
The apartment feels hot. Doesn't it have air conditioning?
No, it doesn't. It has ceiling fans, but no air conditioners.
Conversation 4.
I noticed that there are marks on the walls. Aren't you going to paint them?
Yes, I am. I'm going to paint them next week.
Conversation 5.
Isn't it a nice apartment?
Yes, it is. It's very nice. But I'm not sure I can take it.
Conversation 6.
Isn't it big enough?
Yes, it is. It's big enough, but I can't afford it.
Conversation 7.
Didn't you know how much it was before you came here?
Yes, I did. I knew the price, but I was hoping for a bargain.
Unit 7, page 113. Exercise 7. 1.
You're originally from Vancouver, aren't you?
2.
It's a beautiful city, isn't it?
3.
You don't like the weather here, do you?
4.
They'll be moving soon, won't they?
5.
That building isn't new, is it?
6.
There aren't any more vacancies, are there?
7.
You've never met Anne, have you?
8.
She works around here, doesn't she?
9.
This can't be true, can it?
10.
I'm really lucky, aren't I?
Unit 7, page 114. Exercise 9. Conversation 1.
I just got back from Rio. I think I'd like to move there. It's beautiful.
Rio isn't the capital of Brazil, is it?
Conversation 2.
It's a great city. There's so much to do there.
I've heard that. They have an exciting nightlife, don't they?
Conversation 3.
Anton, hi. I haven't seen you around in ages.
I was in Korea for 6 months.
Oh, that's right. You were teaching a course there, weren't you?
Conversation 4.
I'm looking for an apartment. Do you know of anything?
No, sorry. It's hard to find an apartment in Berlin, isn't it?
Conversation 5.
So, how do you like Tokyo?
Oh, it's a fascinating city. I love it here.
You've lived here a long time, haven't you?
Conversation 6.
So you're going to Cairo. It gets really hot there, doesn't it?
Yes, it's extremely hot, but that's fine with me.
Conversation 7.
I just found a great apartment in Vancouver. I'm glad Anne was with me. She knew just where to look.
Oh, that's right. Anne's from Vancouver, isn't she?
Conversation 8.
I'd love to visit Vancouver someday.
It's a really great city. You'll love it.
You're not originally from there, are you?
Unit 8, page 118. Read.
The twin question: nature or nurture? Mark and Gerald are identical twins, mirror images of each other. They also share many similarities in lifestyle. Mark was a firefighter, and so was Gerald. Mark has never been married, and neither has Gerald. Mark likes hunting, fishing, and old movies. Gerald does too. These similarities might not be unusual in identical twins, except that Mark and Gerald were separated when they were 5 days old. They grew up in different states with different families. Neither one knew that he had a twin until they found each other at age 31. Average people are fascinated by twins, and so are scientists. Because identical twins share the same genes, they offer researchers the chance to study the effect of heredity on health and personality. Identical twins with completely different childhoods allow researchers to investigate the influence of environment. Scientists have long wondered about the role of heredity and environment in our lives. In other words, which is the more important factor, nature or nurture? The example of Mark and Gerald seems to show the power of genetics. However, the lives of other identical twins separated at birth indicate that the question of nature or nurture is complicated. Identical twins Anaïs Bourdier and Samantha Futterman were adopted soon after their birth in Busan, South Korea. 25 years later, a friend was sure he saw Anaïs in a YouTube video. That is, until he realized the woman on YouTube was American, while Anaïs was French. He told Anaïs immediately. When she saw the video, Anaïs was so shocked to see another person who looked exactly like her that she decided to find out who the American woman was. Anaïs sent a Facebook message to Samantha, and the two began sharing information. During their first face-to-face conversation on Skype, Anaïs felt an instant connection, and so did Samantha. They laughed at the same things in exactly the same way. They also found they had many other things in common. For example, they both suffered from the same nervous condition as children. In addition, when Anais feels stressed, she sleeps, and Samantha does too. Both Anais and Samantha want everything they see on a restaurant menu except for carrots. Anais doesn't eat cooked carrots, and neither does Samantha. However, Samantha and Anais are not totally alike. Of course, Samantha speaks American English, while Anais speaks British English and her native language, French. But there are other differences as well. Like her adoptive mother, Samantha is an outgoing person, but Anais isn't. She is more reserved, like her adoptive mother. Samantha, an actor, has an excellent memory, but Anais doesn't. A fashion designer, she has stronger visual skills. Clearly, our heredity doesn't completely control our lives. Our environment doesn't either. The lives of twins separated at birth suggest that we have a lot to learn about the complex role these two powerful forces play in shaping human lives.
Unit 8, page 126. Exercise 3B.
I love having someone who's my mirror image. I'm so happy we finally found each other.
So am I. I always felt like something was missing from my life.
So did I. I always knew I had a double somewhere out there.
I can't believe how alike we look.
Neither can I.
And we like and dislike all the same things.
Right. I hate lettuce.
I do too. And I detest liver.
So do I. I love pizza, though.
So do I, especially with mushrooms. But I can't stand pepperoni.
Neither can I.
This is amazing. I'd like to find out if our husbands have a lot in common, too.
So would I. That might be fun to investigate.
Unit 8, page 129. Exercise 6.
This is a great restaurant. I really love Italian food.
So do I. Do you cook?
Not really.
I do. I love trying out new recipes.
Me? I eat out a lot.
Oh, so do I.
Or I buy some takeout food after work and watch a movie on TV. I love old movies.
I do too. Do you like to read?
Uh-huh. Especially biographies.
So do I. What about novels?
I don't actually read much fiction.
Me neither. I prefer history or travel books. Things about real people and places. So, what about sports? Do you play any sports?
Nah, I don't really play any sports. What about you?
I do. A lot. I play tennis and volleyball every week, but I never watch sports on TV.
Me neither. I watch a lot of documentaries. I love documentaries.
So do I. In fact, there's an interesting documentary showing at Movieland tonight at 8 o'clock. It's about identical twins.
It's 7 o'clock now. If we leave right away, we can catch it.
That sounds good. You know, I think we have a lot in common.
Me too.